that chia?
Yeah.
How many Shetlands do you have?
I just think there's a lot of disconnect from our planet and knowledge of basic skills and heritage arts, and it's kind of a throwaway culture that we're in. The further that we get away from understanding our Earth and our planet, the worse off we all are. And I always think about, we have all this technology and all these things, but can we recreate any of that if all the knowledge got wiped out? So I think it's really important for people to know a lot of these skills and be able to make things with your own hands.
I think farming, growing your own food, no matter what scale you're on, a couple acres or 100 acres like we have, it's important because it keeps you balanced, keeps you focused on nature. Farming is real. You're in the dirt, you're growing vegetables, you're growing sheep, you're growing all your food, essentially. And it helps to keep people grounded. And I would encourage everyone, no matter how much acreage you have, to think about becoming a mini farmer.
"17 years we've lived here. We were here for about a year before we started getting animals. I've always wanted to have animals, and I really wanted to have a farm, and I wasn't really set on what kind of animals and what kind of farm. But my oldest daughter really wanted to have animals, so we decided that sheep or goats would be the easiest thing, and so we tried out some sheep and we tried out some goats, and we decided on sheep. And she really wanted to show at the fair. So when she was 7, we got our first sheep so she could start doing 4-H when she turned 8.
Good job, everyone.
Originally, I realized that, my daughter needed to show some type of registered purebred sheep, and it had to be a yearling or a lamb. I didn't know anything about 4-H or sheep showing or anything. So we were just looking around for any breed of sheep. I really wasn't specifically looking for Shetlands. And we got a couple of just sort of mixed breed sheep from a local farmer, and we just randomly found a friend of a friend had a Shetland lamb that they were selling. So we were like, great. But we really love this breed now. They're really friendly. They have great personalities. They come in all different colors and patterns, and that's really fun. It's fun to look out on the field and see all these different colors, and it's not, all the same. So we really there's a lot of reasons that we love Shetlands, but it was pretty random that we happened upon them. So I don't know where we would be right now and what we would be doing if we ended up starting off with a larger breed, or, I don't know. So we raise our rams primarily for breeding, and I generally find that we have to raise them until they're about a year old to tell whether or not they're appropriate for breeding. and they have to check a lot of boxes for me for that. Good conformation and good horns and good fleece, but also a good attitude and not aggressive. So if they don't check all those boxes, those are the ones that end up in our freezer for our family.
My only help.
Mom, is it? Mom, here you help me? Right here, need to help her.
Sometimes they don't want to go for a walk, they want to go for a drag.
I like the idea of sustainability and feeding my own family and making things with our own hands and teaching my kids where things come from. You know, we don't just go to the store and get everything. You know, so we do gardening and things like that. But yeah, it's been great for them to see, you know, as they're growing up, where do clothes come from? And this is pretty basic, but it's important for people to have that connection to the planet and the earth, and you know, and the fact that, you know, we can take manure from our sheep and put it in our gardens for fertilizer and grow food for them, and grow food for us, and then the scraps go to the chickens and go to the sheep, and it's just a big cycle. I always felt like I wanted to be in one place. I wanted to have some land. I wanted to have some animals. So it was kind of a dream, and I didn't know how it would end up. But I'm glad that I had this life, and I'm sort of a homebody. So I think my kids have appreciated growing up like this. Whether or not they could do that in the future or not is up to them. I like this kind of lifestyle. It's a lot of hands-on effort throughout the year, and different times of the year, lots of different things, but, you know, just doing morning and afternoon chores every single day, because no matter what, you know, it's a holiday or everyone's sick or, you know, everyone is busy on a given day, you still have to go and take care of the animals. And hopefully having this little shop here will help. It helps raise awareness of what goes into keeping animals, and people like to stop and pet them, and but it is a lot of work too. It sounds very Little House on the Prairie, but I think it's compatible with modern living also, to embrace this kind of lifestyle where, you know, you see directly where things come from, and learn about like the individual sheep that grew that yarn.
Dave, this is Brenda. We're hobby farmers with an emphasis on sheep in Coshocton County, Ohio.
And we've been here for about 28 years on this farm. It's called the Carson House Farm. House was built in 1830.
We got into sheep when the local veterinarian gave us a couple bottle-fed sheep, and then the children started taking them to 4-H fair, and my wife started spinning the wool. So we've been into sheep now for 25 years.
I think it's important to support local farms for one reason, it's you're supporting your community, you're helping the community out, helping people locally, maybe perhaps make a livelihood, supporting them that way. You're not buying things from across states or even in other countries, which takes a lot more as far as transportation. Obviously, it's not as fresh. If you're buying food, it's much better to buy that locally. And I think that's even better for the environment as well. You're not using as much resources to get the product to you. But I think overall, it's what we would call subsidiarity, where people are helping your local community out by buying local products.
It helps to build community and keep communities stronger when you're supporting the local businesses, supporting the local farmers. You know the local farmers, you know where your food is coming from.
Having a farm is one thing we've learned. It is hard work. I think we both grew up used to hard work. Neither one of us were raised on a farm. I grew up in rural Indiana, so my parents always had a big garden, so we raised all of our own fruits and vegetables. So I'm very used to canning and freezing my own food. So that was always hard work, but had never had animals, and adding that into the picture even makes more work. I think it's very rewarding to be able to know that you sit down at a table and I made a meal of everything that I personally grew or had a hand in. And that just could be very rewarding to know where your food has come from.
It is a lot of work, but as a friend of mine said, it's good work. So it keeps you young.